Yo, what is going on, guys? Is we react here? Triple upload? Yes, it is. How strong is Gilgamesh? Fate Gilgamesh true power explained. Noble phantasm and abilities. This is 16 minutes long, and with my pausing, this is going to be a heavy fucking video. So I'll try to keep the pausing to a minimum and just try to talk over the video. So it doesn't stretch like fucking 30 minutes. Yeah. With all that being said, I want to keep the intro short, and let's just get right into the video.
Imagine a world where Gilgamesh actually decided to go all out in a fight for once, setting aside his arrogance and facing his opponent with every weapon in his arsenal and every ability at his disposal. Now, that would definitely be something worth seeing. However, in the anime we never quite see Gilgamesh's full potential since he's always operating under the assumption that he's the most powerful being around. And in the 4th and 5th Holy Grail War, that statement actually bears some truth. But because of his egotistical personality, he often finds himself in rather tough positions simply because he decides not to try. So let's take a look at how strong Gilgamesh really is, by not actually answering the question directly, but instead by looking at what exactly generates his power, including everything from his noble phantasms and abilities to all the notable weapons that he has stored in his Gate of Babylon. And trust me, there's a lot. Let's just jump right into the good stuff, starting with the noble phantasm that classifies this servant as an archer, even though we've really never seen him use a bow in his life. The true name of this literal portal to a seemingly infinite number of A+ ranked weapons is Gate of Babylon, the King's Treasure, which is an interesting name considering that Gilgamesh wasn't even ruler of Uruk when the area had become known as Babylonia. But since the Golden Capital was often a name used to refer to Gilgamesh's treasury, as well as a common reference to Babylon itself, Gate of Babylon became a very fitting name. Now, as I'm sure you already know, this noble phantasm grants access to all the valuable items that Gilgamesh had collected during his time as king.
If you guys didn't watch the other videos because it doesn't interest you, like I did say, I did try to upload this fight, but it didn't go through. It was blocked worldwide. And yeah, so I couldn't get it up. I had to wait 30 days if I wanted to just get it up, but then by that time we had already been watching Fate, so it's like, why even bother? So yeah, I'll watch it when I start reacting to Fate episodes. But I had a good reaction to it, I believe, and you guys probably would have enjoyed it a lot. But hey, what can you do when it's copyrighted and blocked worldwide?
It does so by opening what's known as a divine gate that connects the space of reality to the treasury. This portal acts as an invisible door that allows the treasures and weapons within the vault to easily pass through on just a whim. They can be summoned directly into his hands, though that's rarely the case since he instead would rather use them as projectiles and fire multiple at a time through the air like an omnidirectional Gatling gun that shoots different sized bullets with unique qualities every single time, thus classifying him as not only an archer, but an archer with the strongest arrows. The true extent of this ability is determined simply by how serious Gilgamesh considers the fight. He judges the amount of weapons he needs by the severity of the situation. Most often, the gate he uses is very small, firing few weapons at a time, sort of just as a playful usage of the ability. But when up against a strong opponent like Heracles, the gate becomes wider and he can fight with up to hundreds or even thousands of weapons at a time. The weapons can then be returned to the vault at any time, and even reused instantly should he choose to. But the sheer number of weapons within the treasury are said to allow him to fight more than enough battles without having to use the same weapon twice. Now, last video, I don't think that I was over-exaggerating.
So why is it fair? This is not, this literally isn't fair. How does anyone beat this? Who came up with this shit? Didn't you guys? Oh, what was it? I think the video told me. You guys, the video told me that it's a battle royale, and they let this motherfucker loose in it. Whose idea was this? Oh yeah, bro, we're gonna make an equal fight. You know, we're gonna make a fair fight. Let's give our guy an ability to summon weapons out of his fucking ass, out of his little fucking golden holes. Yeah, let's let him fire it. Okay, when he fires it, does he lose the weapons? No. He can recall them whatever the fuck he wants and fire that same fucking spear back at you infinite amount of times. Oh yeah, that's fucking fair. What type of shit is that?
When I said that these weapons were launched at a speed of Mach 10. I mean,
Mach
12,348 kilometers per hour, which should probably generate enough force to parry an attack from a jacked up demigod with 11 lives. but being able to block one of these weapons is only half the battle. Since each one is different and often a noble phantasm in itself, they likely have unique abilities apart from the massive explosions that—
Wait, I think somebody told me this in the comments, but I think they said that he can fire out. Oh wait, I think it was in a video that I watched of Berserker vs. Gilgamesh. He said something like he has multiple noble phantasms. Why? That's just adding to the layer of bullshit that he already. This is not. I already don't like this character. One, because he fucked over Berserker. Two, because what he did to that fucking white hair girl in the Berserker versus Gilgamesh fight. That was just so fucking unnecessary. Why did he even do that? So stupid. So fucking stupid. I swear to God, this makes no.
they generate on impact. So if you didn't want to get messed up by some random side effect of a weapon he just threw at you for shits, then it'd be in your best interest to just dodge them instead. Dodging, however, is also very unlikely, since
it's impossible.
To the vault can be freely deployed pretty much anywhere. Although he likes to launch them from behind his back like a total G, he can just as easily completely surround his opponent with portals and create an inescapable omnidirectional barrage of death. It's also said that if he really wanted to play with his opponent, he would just spawn a random weapon into his hand and attempt some good old hand-to-hand combat, so long as he thought he was the better swordsman at least. Though it's likely that quite a few servants would actually be able to take him on in hand-to-hand combat, since Gilgamesh is more of a jack-of-all-trades master-of-none type, and every other lancer, saber, or archer servants are ones who have mastered a single weapon to its utmost limits. But more on his combat ability later. Let's talk about what's actually inside the vault. In order to gain access to the vault, you first need the key. The key is called the Key of King's Law, Bab Elu. It's a—
Did you know you've been—
I don't give a fuck. Fuck you. I'm sorry. I'm just sorry. I don't mean it. I'm sure you're a lovely person. I'm so sorry.
From Gilgamesh's time as ruler, intended for the sole purpose of unlocking the gates deep within his golden capital. Its shape is constantly changing, and it can only be handled by Gilgamesh himself, though Gilgamesh just discarded the key because he sees no use for having it around and knows no one is foolish enough to attempt to steal from him. As for the contents of the vault, he's stated to have collected all the treasures to have ever existed in the world during his lifetime, lacking absolutely nothing. I mean, it's not hyperbole when he says he collected all the treasures of the earth. Apparently, the number of treasures within continue to increase even to this day at such a rate that even Gilgamesh doesn't fully know how much is within it. It has weapons, technologies, books, and even games. As an example of how it continues to expand, since the technology he had collected from his era served as a basis for modern technology, things like airplanes and submarines also exist within the vault. But here's where things get—
Yo! Is this why y'all enjoy Fate? Because of random OP bullshit like this? On the surface, it seems cool. But holy fuck. This is just... I have another question. I know there's a lot of Fates. How many times have Gilgamesh appeared in them? The battle royale. How many times have Gilgamesh participated in the battle royale? Honest answer, because if he's in every single one, that's just unfair. He's always gonna win. So he can't be in. That'd just be stupid. Yeah, that'd be stupid. He's not in every single one.
Get interesting.
That'd be stupid.
Gilgamesh was the first hero. His collection of treasures, which included weapons—
He was the first hero. Oh wow! Add that to the fucking bag too. I'm the first hero. I'm the strongest. I can pull out whatever fucking weapon I want out of my fucking treasury that never seems to fucking end. Oh, you just got an achievement? You just found some super rare chalice in some dungeon? Nigga, I been had it. Oh, you just found some key to a vault that opens up to every treasure that is known to man? Nigga, that's mine. Why? Literally, why? This character is not even fair. It's not, like, it's not funny. It's not even funny. It's not even fair. It's like Goku. No. It's like Goku if he had Superman fucking abilities. It's not fun at some point. Why? Why do you keep just adding bullshit to him to think it's who's really gonna try Gilgamesh? You literally could have stopped at the gate of Babylon. You didn't need to add all this unnecessary shit to his shit. No one's gonna try to top him. They're scared of him.
Origin of human wisdom. The only things that could be missing from the vault are items that are produced by entities not of the human race or of extraterrestrial origin. So since this is the case, that means that all other weapons that serve as noble phantasms to other servants were derived from Gilgamesh's collection and therefore exist within his vault. They're not known as their name.
Whoever wrote this shit is a fucking child.
Versions, though. They're actually nameless and referred to as the original prototypes. So Gilgamesh, in fact, contains the prototype for every noble phantasm to ever be created by humans, since they were originally derived from his initial treasures. Of course, noble phantasms like Heracles' God Hand, which was derived from Heracles' own legend, is one that Gilgamesh can't obtain. Then the existence of a weapon in the vault, like Karna's Vasavi Shakti, is completely unknown to Gil since it was never actually used in Karna's legend. If there's no description of the weapon's use, then Gil really only has the name to go by and can't successfully match it to any other spear in the vault. But the reason that Gil's treasure came to serve as the origin for all others was because after he had died, through ways unknown to myself, the treasures within the vault were somehow dispersed all over the world. They were either stolen or handed down, and since they were treated as such valuable weapons, they eventually became established as noble phantasms through various heroic legends.
Didn't they just say that you needed it? I know he said he didn't understand how, so it's probably something that happened. But then said they needed a fucking key to even access it. Also, how did Gilgamesh die? If he can steal other people's, or if all noble phantasms originated from his shit, isn't there a noble phantasm to just immortality? I'm pretty sure that's a noble phantasm.
Which, fun fact, also derived from Gil's legend itself. Now, the quality of Gilgamesh's prototypes could be said to make even the more popular named versions look like fakes, due to how high quality their original state was. It's mentioned that if a newer version was to ever go up against its original version, the newer version would always lose, meaning that Gilgamesh's prototypes are the strongest iteration of every noble phantasm derived from the vault. That doesn't necessarily mean that if he was to fight against Gabe Bolg with his unnamed version of it, that he would just automatically win the fight. It just means that Gil's prototype is a stronger version. So if Gilgamesh was to actually take a fight seriously, he could just sift through the weapons in his vault to find just the right ones that would directly counter his opponent. But since he's just an arrogant piece of shit, he'll
You was right about that, my friend.
Or whatever, and only bring out trump cards like Ea or the Chains of Heaven in really dire situations. For the sake of knowing though, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the known weapons within the vault anyway. There's Fergus's Caladbolg, the Rainbow Sword, Roland's Durandal, the Peerless Sword, Cuchulain's Gay Bolg, Fafnir's Demonic Deinschliff Sword,
Wait, what?
Randall, the Peerless Sword, Cuchulain's Gay
Cuchulain. Huh, okay. Nice to meet you, Cuchulain, the Lancer.
Bolg, Fafnir's Demonic Deinschliff
Fafnir? Oh, isn't that one guy with the white hair? I think so.
Sword, Sigurd's Gram, Perseus's Immortal Slaying Scythe Harp, the Chinese Halberd Hotengeki, Indra's Vajra, and then a whole bunch of other unnamed axes, sickles, spears, swords, armors, incenses, vehicles, and even cooking.
Oh, damn, what the fuck is that? This armor, the armor. Oh, I forgot. You guys can't really see what I'm looking at. Damn, that shit clean. I want that sword. I don't they got one on Amazon. Hang that bitch up in my room or some shit. That look clean on my wall.
Items and food. A few notable non-weapon-like items stored inside are a collection of command spells, the Holy Grail itself, though that has long since vanished from within the vault, and even this crazy jet-shaped noble phantasm called Vimana, throne of the heaven-soaring king. This is one of the more interesting vehicles in his possession. I mean, sure, he has the Ship of Light, which allows him to travel faster than the speed of light, but Vimana lets him travel at the speed of thought, and it looks pretty fucking cool. It uses solar crystals along with quartz and mercury as fuel to bypass the laws of physics and travel at impossible speeds. It's a ship immortalized through 2 Indian epic sagas which recounted a golden and emerald arc loaded with various guns and ancient nuclear warheads, as well as equipped with optical camouflage, communication interception devices, laser beams, and even bioweapons. No disrespect to the creators of this legend, but
Exactly, bro. And I'm finna get an ad. But exactly. Who was thinking of this shit? How much time did, bro? They had too much time on their hand when they was thinking of Gilgamesh, bro. It's too much time. And to be honest, I don't even think one person could have came up with this. It had to be at least a group of 5 people just sitting around someone just tossing out ideas. Someone come up with a great idea. Yeah, but if he did this, what if you had this as well? Yeah, but not only that, but this as well. Yeah, and it just kept repeating. So damn stupid.
Year-old came up with a design for this and filled it with every cool feature that they could imagine at the time. Anyway, then he has the Potion of Youth from his legend, which, as you already know, returns the user back to their younger self. Apparently, it returns you to the form of a child, and that in itself not only alters his appearance, but also his personality. Although the memories from his older self remains, his younger self can't really comprehend the older's actions, and there forms this disconnect between the two of them. It's assumed that this potion was used to allow himself to blend in during the 10 years of off time after the Fourth Holy Grail War. Though if the time ever came for him to suddenly have to fight at full strength, he could forcibly reverse the effects. That being said, Gilgamesh does have a couple of go-to weapons, and they are Ea and Enkidu. Enkidu, Chains of Heaven, being named after his best friend and all, is classified as his most trusted noble phantasm. It's a weapon crafted by the gods with the purpose of
It was such bullshit when I saw this in that fight.
One of the few anti-divine weapons that grows stronger with the more divinity that an opponent has. But that can also act as a double-edged sword, since an opponent like Saber who has no divinity whatsoever would just be up against regular chains that could be broken out of with just a little bit of effort. Though there is also a limit to the buff that it gets against those of divine origin, since Heracles was able to move around quite a lot after getting completely binded by the chains, and he himself is half god. Though it is technically just one long chain, multiple sections of it can be summoned at a time, allowing for binding around various parts of the body. He goes for complete immobility when he wants to bind his opponent, and can attempt it a seemingly infinite number of times, since there never seems to be a limit to its length when he uses them.
I'm not surprised. You don't say. There's not a limit to the amount of chains you can use to bind you? I would have never guessed. Thank you for this information. I would have never knew. Wow. Gilgamesh having a limit? Didn't think that was possible. Fuck out of here.
It can also bind the very space it takes up, nullifying all magic in the area.
He can nullify the magic too? Oh my god, Gilgamesh, what can't you do? Bitch ass.
Then there's his Sword of Rupture, Ea, the most powerful noble phantasm within Gilgamesh's treasury and the so-called pinnacle of noble phantasms.
What does it do?
A sword that's unique to Gilgamesh's existence and never passed down for future legends. Though calling it a sword isn't technically correct, since it was an item that existed before the concept of a sword was even invented. It's designed with a cylindrical drill-like pillar split into 3 rotating segments that represent the heavens, the earth, and the underworld, which when combined together, form a representation of the universe itself. Ea was simply a name that Gilgamesh chose for it, most likely as tribute to the Mesopotamian gods of earth and water. In actuality, it's a nameless creation of a god from long before humanity's existence, which then crystallized into form at the beginning of the world. A one-of-a-kind divine construct that even Shiro's unlimited blade works can't duplicate. A sword that knew the world before Genesis, making it the first memory of life that can only be shown when someone gazes upon it. The true formation of the world as it happened and as it was witnessed by this divine weapon. But what exactly does this noble phantasm do?
Yes, explain that. Explain that.
To it that Gilgamesh needs to call by name in order to activate it. It's called Enuma Elish, the star of creation that split heaven and earth. as the three
Even his fucking name's gotta be fucking fancy and bullshit.
cylindrical sections of the sword begin to rotate, the resulting winds create a spatial severance. You see, these aren't just your normal winds. They're described as compressed and intertwined stratifications or layers of wind that turn into gaps between space and time.
You thought Gilgamesh uses fucking regular human wind? Beneath him. He uses shit that ruptures space and time. Y'all niggas can't be serious, bro. Really? Really? This is what Gilgamesh. Let's play it back for the people that did hear it.
You see, these aren't just your normal winds.
Nuh-uh.
They're described as compressed and intertwined stratifications or layers of wind that turn into gaps between space and time, which result in an undefendable attack that tends to destroy everything in its path. There are various levels at which this attack can be activated, which tend to reflect how serious Gilgamesh is taking the fight. Though even the most held back versions are enough to completely surpass an attack from Saber's Excalibur. So we essentially have this primordial sword that creates winds that tear the very fabric of space. Anywhere the winds cut, a void of nothingness will open up, whether it's the ground of the earth or the very sky above. And that newly opened void will begin to swallow up its surrounding area, creating a vacuum as it attempts to reenact Genesis. The voids are said to show the truth of the world and reveal the mystery of creation itself, the beginning of life, until all that's left is a vacuum. But yeah, you can see how the type of attack that this noble phantasm produces could easily destroy the world Ryder's reality marble created. Hell, it could even destroy the world itself if Gilgamesh really wanted it to. Anyway, those are his main noble phantasms. As for his other skills, though not nearly as strong combat-wise, they're still beneficial to Gilgamesh's build per se. First up, he's got the highest rank of the skill Golden Rule, which measures how likely he is to gain wealth during his lifetime, meaning that he will never be in a negative financial situation. Money and riches will always find its way to him.
Why the fuck would he? Why would he? He doesn't even need that shit.
This skill played a great role in helping him add every single treasure in the world to his vault.
Okay, never mind, maybe. Maybe he did need it. But wasn't he like a heir to the throne or some shit? Wasn't he gonna get treasure regardless? I'm sure if he didn't have the golden rule, he maybe wouldn't have gotten everything he wanted. He has now. But he would have been straight financially still.
Then there's his charisma skill that allows him to command an army and build an empire.
Oh my god, another ad!
He also has divinity, which technically should be the highest rank since he's 2/3 god, though this rank is actually decreased due to his disdain towards the gods during his lifetime, especially the ones that killed Enkidu. He also has independent action, which gives him a lot of self-sustainability, as well as clairvoyance in the form of the noble phantasm Shah Nakba Imiru, the omniscient, omnipotent star. This is Gilgamesh's mentality converted into a continuously active noble phantasm that allows him to determine servants' true names, noble phantasms, and power levels at pretty much a glance. He can see through magic and even quickly determine—
Oh my god, bro, stop showing me this fight, bro. Bro, we get it. Berserker lost, bro. Okay, Berserker lost. Okay, I get it. He lost. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Optimal move in any situation. It damn near borders on the ability to see the future because he can also see the outcomes of a situation through parallel worlds. So overall, Gil is just a walking powerhouse. His collection of noble phantasms make it almost impossible for anyone to counter him, as he could just quickly assess the situation and determine which weapons work best when. But the thing is, he just doesn't. He will rarely, if ever, get serious in a fight, and as I said in the beginning, that is most often the root cause of his defeat, refusing to even use his trump card Aya against anyone that he deems unworthy, which is pretty much everyone. He could probably find some pretty devastating prototype noble phantasms in his collection too, though he would never actually think of using them for what they're actually worth. so his potential to be the strongest servant is definitely up there. But he'll never be the strongest, since you first have to fight like a champion to be the champion. And that, everyone, is the Fate version of Gilgamesh. The next poll should be up on the community page of my channel, where you can vote for the servant that you want covered next. Also, feel free to join our little Discord community, where we mainly talk.
That's the end of the video. He's just gonna be talking about other stuff. But yeah, go give this video a watch if you haven't already. I want to ask you, Fate fans, Fate fanatics. After Gilgamesh, who's the second strongest? Who's the second strongest? What do you call them? Servants. Who's the second strongest servant? Yeah, give me that. But yeah, but I'm sorry. This video just has my mind completely fucked of all the bullshit he can pull off. But yeah, with all that being said, guys, the original video will be down in the description below. If they have any socials, you know, they'll be down there as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go enjoy their video as well. Go get their video if you just like you did mine. And with all that being said, guys, peace, and I hope you have a wonderful day.